Hi friends, I'm really sorry I had to restart again. There are some funny things which happened with Facebook. I don't know where things got lost. So I guess you all will join back again. I'm waiting for you. Till then, I would like to again start saying by saying that today was an amazing thing that happened. That there's someone whom I don't know. Hi Priyanka, uh, called me up and we spoke to each other, and she told me that she's really started changing her life through this amazing transformation series, the stories which have come up, and she has started believing that yes, also she can make those changes in her life. Plus, she has been implementing all those steps that we've been teaching in the Ultimate Success Blueprint group. So, thanks to each one of you who've been coming here regularly, inspiring me, encouraging me to keep continuing this series. And it has started creating impact in people's life, people whom I don't even know. I think that was the basic purpose why I started this series in the first place. So I'm feeling good that 2021 has brought me that news that yes, what I was wanting to do has started happening. People are changing their life because they are watching this series, they are believing that they can change. And what bigger joy than this, that my efforts are being appreciated by people whom I don't even know. Glad to have all of you, Bobby, Janvi, Vishwas, Vidya, Varun. Thank you for joining me today here. It's really amazing. So, guys, how are you feeling that you all who have been participating in this beautiful series, when you get to know that yes, there are people whom we don't even know and they are changing their life because of all what we are watching? It is all of you who support, encouragement, and some of you who've been coming here live have been making this great impact in people's life. So I'm really so happy seeing that it's not only the people I'm impacting directly by coaching them, but people who are reaching out from these live videos have been able to change their life. I'm really, really very happy. I think this is one of the best news that I've got in 2021. Really grateful for all of you who've been joining here and encouraging others to be a part of this series. Hi Amrita, great to have you here. So friends, what is it going to be today? Today's series is about one most important thing. If you all know what Corona gave us in 2020 was a huge increase in mental health. Mental health in terms of anxiety, in terms of going low on confidence, reaching to the stage of fear, depression, and that has really grown. Really 40% of Indians are suffering from these mental illness. That's what statistics says. It has come in Times of India, which is one of the reliable sources. WHO has also confirmed that mental illness is really increasing in our country, and we all need to really fight it. Now, many times it could be possible that it is really clinical, psychological, where you have to take treatment from the psychiatrist. But the best part of this news is most of the cases are actually not clinically depressed. They undergo certain incidents in life, some things which make them believe that they are good for nothing. They lose sight of their life and they go depressed. So all such people can change their life with small little encouragements. If they find someone who can guide them, help them, and come back and track in life, they can achieve wonders. And today, one of the people who have made this happen really in their own life is the person whom I'm going to invite as guest today to really share her story on how she fought anxiety, fear, depression, and she's really made it good in life. Hi Vidya, great to have you here.
Good evening. How are you?
Right, fantastic. Vidya, you'll have to be a little far from the camera so that you're seen a
Is this
little
okay
more.
now?
This is better. Little more could do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yes, this is fine. Great.
Yeah.
So welcome Vidya for today evening. I'm sure you heard what has been happening with this series. People have started changing their lives. It is creating
Yes.
transformation in other people's
Yeah.
life as well. So that's really amazing. And today you're
Yeah.
going to be one of them who might inspire someone else who's either watching us live or maybe listen to this recording later. So welcome
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
this beautiful series of transformation. Hi JJ, great to have you here. Hi Hemant. So let's go on straight to you, Vidya. Right from your childhood, where do you belong? What was your education background? How did you start life and grew up as
Okay.
an adult?
Yeah. So thank you so much, Nutan ma'am, for this wonderful opportunity. Okay.
You're
So
absolutely
let me
welcome.
start. Thank you. So I was born in Mumbai. So my schooling, early years of education happened in Chennai, and after which I moved to Mumbai, and I completed my 10th, 12th graduation from a college in Mumbai itself. I have done my bachelor's in microbiology and biotechnology.
Yeah.
So while doing this, I was doing pretty well in my academics. So that's what prompted me to take science, as that was in vogue. Like, people who scored well are, bound to pick up science. So that's how I chose science as my career. But to be very frank, I didn't have the inclination, or I didn't have the passion that is required to, pursue any scientific science line career. Okay. So when I
That's
landed,
how even that's how even I chose science. I thought I'm an
yeah.
intelligent person because I just got a first class in 10th and 12th.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So that's how I landed up taking up this bachelor's in microbiology. But I was doing pretty well. As far as marks were concerned, it was not like, I was putting in hard work. But those long hours in the lab, wearing those aprons and sweating in front of the burners, I was not enjoying it. Like every day, I used to come back doubly tired, just making an excuse like, I have been working, putting in a lot of efforts. But somewhere I had the feeling that this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life, because science is really demanding and I was not meant for that.
Right.
So after that, what happened was, like, we had a break. I completed my bachelor's and I had a break for
Okay.
about 1.5, 2 months, and I
Yeah.
fared pretty well in my bachelor's. So I was, like, offered a master's in few of the colleges. But
Hmm.
at the same time, right from childhood, I enjoyed two things very much. One is
Okay.
teaching, and second is
Okay.
learning foreign language. So I
Wow.
always wanted to learn a foreign language, and I was always inclined towards Japanese and, Chinese, the Oriental languages.
Oh, the more
So
difficult ones.
yeah, but I somehow admired the, the structure of those languages. So I was pretty
Right.
much sure I was able to, I'll be able to do something. But
Yeah.
during this break, like, when we were looking for colleges, I was offered admissions in 2, 3 colleges for masters in Mumbai. There was a break, and I had taken up this course in Japanese. So that's
Okay.
how my trust with the languages started. And when I
Okay.
enrolled myself for Japanese, I fell in love with the language. I mean, the way it was structured, I was like, I didn't know, like, days were like, it was like very pleasant. I used to spend hours studying Japanese. There was no pressure that I always had in my mind while I was in the lab, while doing bachelor's. So that was, that was an amazing phase when I started learning Japanese. Unfortunately, my Japanese teacher found me good enough. So she told me that why not take up Chinese as well, because both these languages share the same kind of script. So she advised me, you can also pick up Chinese side by side and try your hand in that as well. So that at that point of time, this was early 2000, there was only the consulate that was offering the Chinese language course. So
Yeah.
while I was doing Japanese, I also enrolled myself for a diploma in Chinese language. And again,
Okay.
I got fascinated with the language, the structure, the culture. So I started pursuing it full time. And then the time came when I had to take a call. The academic session for masters was about to begin, and that's when I had to take a tough call, whether masters or languages, because languages at that point really didn't have a scope. It was not a very organized sector. Like, if you finish the course, you will be offered a good job. So,
Right.
but then, yeah, that was one decision, the best decision, I would say, that I took a courageous decision of quitting, masters. I thought, let me not go and, regret anymore, or, crib and complain that, I'm not able to do that. So I took a call during that time, and I told myself that let me do Japanese and Chinese. Let me pick up languages as my career. So that's how I started my career as, a language person, and not as a
Chinese
bachelor's or a
language
master's
teacher.
degree person. Chinese language
Okay.
teacher. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great. Hi, Gurbaksh. Hi, Kshitija. Hi, Dipti. All of you. Hi, Pranav. Thanks for joining. There's, in fact, one more person who's listening to us who's also made her career out of the skill of a language. For her, it is Japanese language. So I'm sure she's going to enjoy this session today. And JJ has just mentioned that, like us, she also chose science because she did well in her 10th and 12th, and people assume that science
Yeah.
is going to be the best thing. Of course, her career didn't
Yes.
come out from that. So that's what keeps
Yes.
happening with us commonly. Hi, Mahesh. So, Vidya, you
True.
became a Chinese teacher. You started teaching where? Where did you start your career?
So I finished my diploma. I scored very well. So the consulate, the India-China Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So that was one point destination for all Chinese learners. So as soon at the end of the, as soon I was at the fag end of my learning process, wherein the consulate itself offered a job position, and I
Okay.
started teaching at the consulate itself as a Chinese language teacher. So yeah, that was my first job assignment as a Chinese teacher.
And how do you grow from there?
So I started and I was there. I took up a lot of corporate assignments. I trained many students. I trained college students. So it was a cross section of audience that I was catering to. I was designing courses. I was helping many people overcome this barrier, because Chinese in general was perceived to be a tough language. But I somehow enjoyed strategizing simpler methods that gave me a lot of kick in my life. And the 1.5 years after I became a teacher was awesome, because I was teaching a cross section of society. I was helping people overcome their hurdles, and that gave me a lot of happiness. So at the end of 1.5 years, I was a fully established teacher in Bombay, known to many of them as, Vidya Lauscher. So yeah, so my career was in a boom, I would say.
Wow, wow. Hi, Rajendra. Great to have you here. So you were doing well in your career. You were teaching. You were enjoying teaching. And then, of course, the next stage of life after career, once you settle down, is getting married. So you
Married.
guys got married
Yeah.
to a great guy. And what happened then?
Okay, so I got married to this IT professional guy. So I had to shift base from Bombay to Pune, and before marriage, of course, both of us always spoke upon, because my husband is very much academically oriented. So both of us had this common point of talk, which was, how are you going to proceed ahead in your career, and what am I going to do with my career? So that was the most common topic which both of us enjoyed, discussing in common. So when I told him and I shared my thought, like, I would want to pursue career in Chinese, I would want to go as a Chinese language expert, he was thoroughly excited and he was all motivated, and, he gave me wings to fly. He said, you do whatever you want, I am there to support you. So that was the starting point of, marriage. That gave us a good start, kick start to our marriage. But once I got married, somehow the very thought of pursuing the language career, everything went for a toss. I had put everything in the back burner. Believe me, I had become a full to housewife, but I would not say full to typical housewife, but I was frustrated to the core. The basic reason being was, what I assumed that I'm loving, or I'm giving myself to my husband, was just my possessiveness for him. I wanted, like, I come from a basic middle class family, so I've always seen my father doing a 9 to 5 job and coming back, spending time with us the rest of the evening. So that's what I somehow had in my mind, and expected the same out of my married life as well. But that was not the case. Since I told you I'm married to an IT
Vidya,
professional. Yeah.
Yes, I put you to a hold here. Hi, Sugda. So, dear friends, that is something very common, again, which I find as a common pattern in most of the people, that the kind of married life that their parents have had creates a huge impact in their life. And they also have such an expectation that their married life is going to be exactly the way the parents had lived. So, Vidya, coming from this kind of a background where father was a banker, he would finish his job, come back on time. Mother was a housewife, she took care of him and the family. So, Vidya got into the same mold after getting married. And she thought
Yeah.
that she'll again have the same kind of evenings where husband will come back on time, they'll go out, they'll finish their household chores, maybe shopping, buying grocery,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And weekends are going to be beautiful, spending a lot of time with each other. So she didn't
Yeah.
even consider, when she moved city from Bombay to Pune, she didn't even consider what is going to happen with her career. She was so happily
Exactly.
married in her
Yes.
mind that
Mind.
this is what is
Yes.
going to be the focus of my life, that I'm going to really chill and have a great housewife life.
Absolutely.
What happened
Yes.
to that
So
chill and happiness?
yes. So I had, as you rightly put, I had not even considered career options in Pune. So this was the kind of life I wanted. Married, weekends mein bahar jao, enjoy, beautiful family, small family. That's what I had imagined. But I was in for a terrible shock, because this guy was, he had his own goals, clear-cut goals, and he was very, very focused in achieving those goals. And I was somehow not able to connect with him. What is this? I mean, after marriage, this is not what people do, right? Achieving goals. He used to regularly, the talks that we had before our marriage regarding, what will be your career after 5 years. This was the conversation, but I had forgotten it. I had conveniently put it back in the back burner. But my husband kept on asking me the same question because he was very focused and what he wanted out of his life. So we never had the same conversation. And he was very focused. He immediately took up an academic course he pursued his higher education. And immediately after the marriage, there was a cut of lack of communication. So I was not able to understand what was going on in our relationship because he used to come back from office and he used to sit to study. And then the whole, the competition started, if I may say. The competition was between me, my mother-in-law, vying for my husband's attention constantly. I got into that mode, which was very, very depressing. As in, it used to start right from our morning tea. Who's going to prepare tea for him first? Who's going to prepare the best food? So this competitive spirit somehow led to a lot of stress in my mind because the only thought that I had was, how am I going to gain his attention? I was just yearning and vying for his attention, and I was not able to handle it myself because it was not a very comforting thought. I was not being myself at all. So from being that, happy-go-lucky, a person who had a booming career back in Mumbai, I had transformed into this, lazy, complacent, crying. I used to cry a lot. I don't know for what. If nothing happened, if things didn't go my way, if he just said so that, my mother's food is good today, I used to start crying and somehow the mood in the house was very, very negative. And this took a toll on my health severely because he was not able to handle me. We were not having any pleasant conversations, nothing at all. All that I had imagined from, Karan Johar's movie had gone for a toss. It had become a typical Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie. It was all dark, the face was really dark. I was not able to handle it. So that's when I started getting sleepless nights. Initially, it started with, I couldn't sleep because he used to come back home late at those times. So I used to sit for him, let him come. I want to spend time with him. So I compromised on my sleep because somewhere I was not very secure in the relationship. So it started with, having sleepless nights in the initial few days, and later it converted into a very severe insomnia. And I was not able to sleep for days together. That was very horrible. And the next day I used to get up with, heavy eyes, lot of acidity. I had put on a tremendous amount of weight. So yeah, that phase of my life was very scary. If I look back, I really don't want to be in that space where I was.
True. Hi, Angela. Hi, yeah. Sugdha. Great to have you here. So the best part is, how many of you here now on the call can agree to this, that generally, I don't know how in other countries, but in India, that's a huge competition. Once you get married, there's a competition between the mother-in-law and the wife. Who is going to serve? This one person becomes the center of two women's life. Who is going to do better in serving him and making him happy? And who is he going to appreciate? So he's actually in a fix. He doesn't know whom to support. He should support his mother or he should support his wife. And that is where the challenge in relationship happens. How many people have experienced this in their life or heard in their families, that this is the kind of thing happens after marriage, where mothers are also possessive and so are the wives. And I really feel so sad for the husband who doesn't know what to do. How many of you see this happening? JJ is saying she's seen that with her sister and her mom-in-law. Who else has seen this amazing, beautiful, funny little expectation from the wife, from the mother, and the son is really, either he's really enjoying like a king all the attention, or if he wants a happy family wife, he's really in for a big soup. How many of you have experienced this? Let's really know. Till then, we can take up the next thing from Vidya. So Vidya, you started developing this sleepless nights. What did that lead to?
Yeah. So without any realization, I had slipped into depression. I was undergoing anxiety. I used to have these regular aches in my left arm. So my husband was really scared because looking at my condition, he took me to a very famous psychiatrist here in Pune. And the first thing, and I would have never expected this out of my life, I was diagnosed with depression. The doctor told that she's depressed, she's undergoing a lot of stress, and he put me on severe sedatives because the first thing that I was lacking was sleep. I had not slept for days together. So that had taken a toll on my health. So he had first put me on a sleeping drug. But unfortunately, the drug did not work for me. The one drug that he had prescribed at that point was not working. I was able to sleep for, you say, not having, from 15 to 20 minutes, again, I would wake up and, suddenly start crying and, something of that sort would happen. So that's when he again put me on two drugs just to see whether this is working. Again, it was not it was not of much effect. Finally, he had to put me on 4 sleeping pills. So at one point of time, I was literally on 4 sleeping pills so that I could just grab some 3 to 4 hours of sleep at night. So that was the condition. Like, it was anxiety, it was depression and insomnia all mixed together. And yeah, I was put on heavy sedatives. So, and every
So
morning I
friends,
used to, yeah.
So friends, that is what I was just talking. Hi Kshitija, great to have you here. So this is what I was just talking when we started the series, that many of the times this anxiety or depression is not actually clinical. It is only related to the change in your life, and that change in life is not something which you can deal with. You don't know how to handle it, and you lose your confidence and you get into the depression mode. A person who was doing so well in life, got married, so was supposed to lead a happy married life, actually was heading in an absolutely opposite direction. Yes.
Yes.
After this 4 pills, what was the next thing? How did this relationship
So
uh, affect? I mean, between the husband and wife, how was it going because of you going into all these mood swings and not able to sleep? Did it bother him? Did it affect the relationship?
of course, it took a toll on him as well, because he was what he expected out of me. I turned out to be the exactly opposite. Like, because he saw me as an ambitious lady who had her own dreams, who had her own goals. That was what he was looking forward to. But now here I was always ready to fight. I used to pick up fight just like, at the snap of a finger, because I was just vying for his, what should I do? And Sudarshan looks at me. That was a kind of competitive mode, or that was always there in my mind. So there was no, I would say, the relationship had gone for a toss, totally gone for a toss. There was no communication between us. A point came when we were only fighting. I used to raise my voice, he used to he used to become submissive, or else when he used to raise his voice, I used to become submissive. So the whole atmosphere in the house was filled with negativity. There was no common topic of conversation. There was no happiness. There was only negativity in the house, and none of us, including my mother-in-law, was able to handle this, because from morning to evening, the house was only on a house of riot. Who picks up a fight? What's going to happen next? Are vessels going to fly? Because at one point I had turned physical also, because I was not able to handle this whole thing. So my husband had become miserable. If I was unhappy, he was miserable. He was not able to handle, because only those 3-4 hours when I used to sleep, that was the time he used to feel like, calm, because he had to handle only his mother then. But when both of us were awake, it was, double dhamaka for him, and he was helpless. He was totally helpless.
So, Vidya, visiting the psychiatrist, did it help you?
It definitely helped physically, as in, I was able to grab some amount of sleep, the sedatives that I was put on, but it didn't change anything from within, because, that was just taking care of my mental need, that, the need of sleep was getting fulfilled. But I was the same person from within. I was still ready to, fight. I was still ready. I was still crying. I was still complaining. And I had gone into the self-sympathy mode, that the whole world is making a victim. I am a victim, and my husband is torturing me, my mother-in-law is torturing me. So nothing had changed from within. So hence I was not, in spite of being on 4 sleeping pills, I was not able to sleep for 8 hours. I used to sleep for 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and suddenly would just wake up and see that, he's beside me. Is he talking to my mother-in-law? So that thing had gone somewhere deep into my mind. And the medicines were of help only for the mental thing to calm down, but nothing had changed from within. So things were still pretty much, dark in that phase.
Right. So, friends, this is where I want to share that, when you're going through these low modes of life, when you are uh, not getting what you're expecting out of life, you go into this low phase. And this low phase, no psychiatrist can help you. The only person who can help you is a person who can guide you, coach you, help you see what is your worth in life, what is your life about. This is the only thing that can be done by a coach or a guide or a mentor. It cannot be done by a psychiatrist. There are many people who feel that because they are depressed, they want to go to a psychiatrist, and the only thing that happens is they are put on sedatives. They don't lead a normal life, they remain zombie, and they actually miss the joy of living. Instead of
Yeah.
living a happy life to their fullest potential, they're living zombie and they're not really alive. So that's the saddest part that happens through taking medicines from psychiatrists. And this Vidya is vouching for as a patient, and the doctors, the psychiatric friends whom I know have vouched for this, that not everyone should come to a doctor unless they are clinically depressed, where they are actually not in that place that they can take help from anywhere else. That is the time they should take pills. Otherwise, they should not do this. Small little
Yeah.
incidents which may seem major for you, losing a girlfriend, losing a boyfriend, not scoring well in exams, the career not going the way you are wanting, the marriage not going the way you're wanting, all these kind of challenges, when they come to you, they seem very big. You can't handle it
Yeah.
yourself. That is why you need external help. But believe me, psychiatric treatment is not a solution to this. Otherwise, you don't lead a great life. You're zombie throughout the day. So, Vidya, when the psychiatrist thing didn't help, you were still zombie throughout the day. What did your husband do? Hi, Mayur. Great to have
So
you
my,
here.
yes, so my husband finally brought me to the right doctor for life. You know, that one person whom I, you know, whom I'm thankful for through my life. He's the doctor for life, as you rightly said. The psychiatrist only treats your symptoms, but that again, I was like, you know, moving about just weary and tired through the day. And one
Yes.
fine day, I think I still clearly remember, it was in the month of June. You know, one day my husband introduced me to Dheeraj sir. So the first my meeting with him has changed my life forever. The course has changed, you know. So that's when my life took a U-turn, a 360-degree turn from where I was to what I am today. Is all because of, you know, Dheeraj sir. I can strongly vouch. So as you rightly said, please approach a person who knows, who can read your life. It's not about symptoms. It is what your life wants, what you're not able to deal from the life perspective. If there is a person who can give you hope back, that's all that your life requires. Then you can, you know, you are ready to do and take on the challenges.
Great. So, you met Dheeraj and the coaching process began. And how did changes start happening in your life? What
Yes.
was this
So the
entire
first,
journey that you went through?
yes. So it was in 2015 June that I met Dheeraj sir. The first question he asked was, "What is your purpose in life?" I said, I still felt that I'm a great housewife because I thought that I love my husband like nobody. So he said, "But what is your purpose of your life?" I'm not asking his life. What is the purpose of your life? I didn't have any purpose because I had given up on everything. You know, I was feeling hopeless. I felt that, you know, all my life is equal to my husband's life. My goals are equal to his goals, but I was not helping him in that way either. Like, you know, so that's the first thing he asked me. You should have your own purpose. You know, although you're a housewife, you're in a relationship, your relationship at this point is thoroughly driven by the need of significance. You are wanting a one-upmanship over your mother-in-law, and it is not love. But whereas a husband-wife relationship should be based out of love, and you should have your own goals and ambitions. And only when you are into that, you're fulfilling that, you will become happy. Otherwise, this is going to continue. So the very first thing he asked me was that write down your goals, which I didn't have at that point of time. I thought, what is he telling? Why should I have goals? Like, I thought that I can just cry my heart out and he will just empathize with me and send me back. But when he asked me, write down your goals, I didn't have any in the first session. Then we started working our goals together. He, in fact, understood my industry, how the industry operates, how many people are the players, how does this whole industry work. So through his coaching session, the first target that he set was, he made me appear. We together worked out that I would appear for my HSK certification, which is the formal certification in Chinese language. So he set a target for October. I met him in June and he said, October, you will clear this exam. So then it felt like I had taken a rebirth. He used to give me timetables. जैसे school में देते थे, he used to literally ask me to, you know, note down कितना पढ़ाई किया, क्या किया, walking, everything, every aspect of life was taken care by him. And he used to lay down goals for me, short-term goals. July तक इतना पढ़ाई करना है, August तक इतना पढ़ाई करना है. So by the end of September, I was back in shape. I felt like, I had taken a rebirth. I was feeling the same Vidya who was in Bombay, like, creating my own career, my own curriculum, teaching material for kids. And, I was all raring to go. I was looking forward to the examination because I wanted to prove the hopelessness had set so deep in me that this thing that I'm able to get up in the morning and do something out of my life, that triggered my confidence level. And in October, things changed. I appeared for this exam and I scored the highest, and I was the only person who cleared the highest level 5 HSK examination in the month of October.
Wow.
So that
Wow.
achievement, I mean, I still remember. I happily, I don't know, I was jumping like a girl, who scored very well, and it was an achievement for life. I felt that now I have done something out of my life, and I jumped and went to him and then said that yes, I have done it. Now tell me what I can do next. So the hopelessness and the focus had changed. Now the focus was, it was like back in track for me. I had taken a new rebirth, and things had started working now. So that's how he gave me the push to, come back to track on life.
Great. Thanks, Gurbaksh, for all that. Cheers. Thank you, Kshitija. Hina, thank you for joining. So, yes, that is the one most important thing that I would like to share here, that relationship between two matured individuals always works fantastically. When any of them loses sight of life and is obsessed about the other person's time and energy, that is where the relationship starts going for a toss. And that's exactly what happened to Vidya. It not only harmed her life, it also harmed the relationship and the family environment. Hi Kishore, great to have you here. So Vidya, you did well, and then the next step towards this entire thing, how did it go? Where did these changes really start happening? Thank you
Yes.
guys for
So
all the
once I
encouragement.
cleared,
It is so nice to see all of you writing and encouraging Vidya on what she's achieved. Thank you very much. Yes,
thank you
Vidya.
so much. So once we had cleared these exams, the next thing was to take up a job. So we looked out meticulously as to what coaching institutes were there. Where can I actually start my career again, resurrect my career again? Because I had not done my homework at all for the past 1.5 years, 2 years. So we found out all the institutes together. We charted out a plan, and then I started teaching Chinese in these institutes. And the first day, I still remember, I entered the institute. My life was back. I really felt, I was rejuvenated
Alive.
because alive. I felt so alive, and I felt that I had come out of sleep, a slumber, hibernation mode. I was long gone into hibernation, and when I first touched the marker and the board, I felt so alive. And the 3-4 hours that I used to spend with my children, with my students, used to be amazing. So that again gave me a purpose. I had something to hold on. There was an anchor that yes, next day again I used to look forward to those classes. Again, there were new faces that I used to meet, because in these 2 years of marriage, I had totally forgotten. I stopped meeting people, in fact my own parents. So I had started becoming a recluse, only wanting my husband's attention. But now I was here meeting new people. I was seeking opportunities. Where else can I teach? Because then that was my area of confidence. I got my lost confidence back. And then, so I was working now 5 days a week, around 2 to 3 hours every day, teaching Chinese language in Pune itself.
Right. So how did it affect your mental health and the treatment that was
So
happening
first
from the
thing,
doctor?
yes. So I still clearly remember the first month I started teaching. From the 4 pills, I came down to 2 pills. The doctors, because my sleep pattern had improved. Like, if I had 3.5 hours of sleep initially, I was able to sleep 5 hours, because the traveling and then coming back, preparing notes, my focus had shifted. Now it was never like, petty fights over who's making coffee better, chai better. No, I was focused on, what more can I give? I started looking for Chinese study materials because I wanted to be prepared before each lecture. So all that turned my focus. At the end of the day, that made my mind, my mind was refreshed. So, and at the same time, the body was tired enough, because the travel and, standing for those 4-5 hours and teaching my kids also gave me some sort of, brought about physical changes. So I was able to come down on my pills from 4 to 2. And within 6 months, I was off all the pills. Believe me, I was off all the pills. And I was able to sleep peacefully for nearly 6 to 7 hours. because that was a kind that I had never imagined, because I thought I am dependent on these pills for life. But then only 6 months, I was out of these pills and I was back on track, because because everything had changed. Yeah, so that brought about, that was a great change that came up in my life, coming off those pills. Yeah.
Hi, Hiru. So, of course, sleep again is if your body is physically tired, if your mind has really achieved everything, if you're feeling great of what you've achieved in the day, then you naturally fall asleep very peacefully. And obviously, after that, my husband pushed you to tap your potential even further. So, what was the next step that you both took as a coach and coachee?
Yes. So, so this was again, I never knew that I had the potential. But Dheeraj sir, then once again, once we wrote down goals, he made me write that you will be taking up a corporate job. And that was always, now not my area of forte. I was always scared of those corporate people, or, the corporate buildings. The mere thought of going and giving an interview scared me a lot. But Dheeraj sir said, like, if you're again going to work only for 4-5 hours a day, which is still a part-time kind of a job, you are not tapping your potential fully. You have a lot of potential. And when he says that you have a lot of potential, I believed in him. I believe that when he is telling me, I am having that potential. So we again meticulously charted out our plans. We jotted down all the companies offering Chinese language and who are ready to take up Chinese. And the second challenge was the amount, the kind of package that he had asked me to quote with the companies was something mind-boggling. I would have never imagined. First of all, the nightmare was to appear for an interview. Second was the kind of money he was asking me to quote with the companies. I said, what is this man telling me? Is it even possible? He said, Vidya, go and do that. You will be able to do. So I still remember the first day of, I applied in different job portals. I got a job offer. I got a call from a good company, MNC. And the day of interview, morning, he called me and he said, go and give your best. It is not whether you get a job or no, but the efforts that you take towards it, that is what I want to see. And that again boosted. Hearing his voice in the morning on the day of interview, I said, chalo, let me go and crack this interview. So then I went. There was, there was nearly 7 hours of the technical round. Then there were discussions, and there were Chinese experts round. There were different rounds. After which, finally, I got a job, and the amount of money, the salary package, although I was not sure. Even today, people who have completed bigger levels, there's just one level above, they still are not able to money that I'm making today. So that's the confidence that he gave me, that you have the potential of earning that package. So please go ahead and apply. And then I landed up with this superb MNC job, which I would have never imagined. That was another breakthrough. This used to give me nightmares. I always consciously avoided these corporate jobs. But when he gave me the confidence, I somehow started believing in myself that even I can go and try. Let me go and try at least. So that's how I landed up with a corporate job with a handsome salary package.
Wow. So corporate job, handsome salary, receiving the first salary, how did it make you feel?
Oh yes, the best thing was I had my own card, which I could swipe. I still remember, like a child, I used to go, because that was my money. Although I was making money here and there sporadically, even before that, this was something, a steady income that was coming in. So that gave me a lot of security, and again boosted my confidence that Vidya, you're capable of this. If you can do this, you can do more as well. So I still remember the very first time I swiped my card, I had taken my friends out, and it was Marriott. So it was such a great achievement, because I never imagined that I would be doing something on my own, my friends. So that night was very pleasant, and I slept really peacefully. And after that, I have been doing constantly for my friends, for my parents. It was a shock for them when I told the kind of package. My father almost said, you have made more money than my entire lifetime. So I right now I'm taking care of them, taking care of all their needs. I'm doing my best for my friends, for my family. And this in turn somehow, changed my equation with my husband and my in-laws, my mother-in-law. Yeah.
So, hi Meena, thank you for telling that this has really helped you. Vidya, already things have started moving. So thank you, Meena, really for sharing this feedback. So Vidya, this new gain confidence, the kind of money that you could spend on your family, friends, you were enjoying all the financial freedom, appreciation from
Yeah,
everyone, your relationship with your
yeah.
husband improved. How did it bring about a change in your mother-in-law's attitude towards you?
Oh, yes. So when I started, she still was not very confident, but when she saw me putting in the efforts, believe me, she used to always wait for me to come back from office. She used to wait for me with a cup of hot coffee. We used to fight over this cup of coffee some few months back, and she used to wait eagerly for me, and this happened. I've experienced it. And she used to,
Wow.
we used to chat like with a hearty laugh, like, what happened in my office. The entire atmosphere in the house changed. We had lot more topics to converse in the first place because my mother-in-law is a person who is outgoing. She likes meeting people, and when I used to share all this, she was proud as as a daughter-in-law, that I could see the respect in her eyes for me. She said she believed, she started believing in me that this girl can surely take care of my son and the family. So that's the first impression. And I remember I gifted her a watch out of my salary. She was super awesome and she felt elated. And she told my husband that this watch I'm going to wear because she has taken efforts, she has earned it, and she has given me. So the whole attitude of my family changed. They started considering me seriously because otherwise I used to sleep, trip, try. That's what
Wow.
Vidya's identity was. But now here I was as a professional. So, hello,
Yes, Vidya, we can hear you now.
hello. Yeah.
Yes,
So
please go
that
ahead.
whole attitude of my family towards me changed. I saw a change in my husband. He started believing in me. He started handing over finances. I was now handling the whole, I was running the house, like, from a dependent, complaining, frustrated, angry. He had to take care of me like a child. But now here I was taking care of my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, her family, and like, I had become a hope for my family. So that entire, and my husband
Wow.
was actually relieved because he was able to handle his goals now. We used to share codes, like, you handle this part, I'll handle the money part. So that thing, for the first time ever in 2 years, I saw the change coming. And my husband started looking at me from a different angle. He used to say that, okay, Vidya's work time, let's not disturb her. So
Great.
that thing again gave me a lot of confidence. I felt that I'm on the right track again.
So, Vidya, from you to the people who are suffering anxiety, depression, feeling low, no self confidence, what would you like to share with these people? What would be your message to them?
So the first message is seek a right person, seek a coach who will understand your life. Medicines are definitely going to help you, but only to a very small extent. But beyond that, you need a doctor who will heal your life. If there is a person who's helpful, who is more confident on you rather than what you have, if he believes in you, if there's a person who says, I am right behind you, please go and achieve what you want. It's like, a person giving wings to your dreams. So please don't hesitate to seek help. It is always better than, crying, cribbing, and wasting your life. Please go and seek outside help, the right person who has achieved great things in his own life and who is always there for you. Any small thing, big thing, he's there to celebrate your victories. He's there to celebrate your failures as well. But he's that one person who is going to heal your life. So that's a strong message that I would recommend. Please don't spend time, doing rounds of doctors. Or they can help, but only to a very small extent. But seek a coach, a mentor who knows you well, who will give you the right medicine for your life and will change your life forever.
So, Vidya, with this kind of winds beneath your wings, what are your
Yeah.
aspirations for the future for 2021?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Now I am like, I cannot be contained now. I am all over the place now. So the next thing that I'm looking forward is to become an entrepreneur. I want to start my own academy. I want to create curriculum and streamline the entire Chinese language industry. I want to bring in quality Chinese education to our Indian students, place them in good companies, and see them, nourish their life. So I want to become an entrepreneur and start an academy, and the plans are already in. We have already started working out in there. So I'm all raring to go to become one.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome, Vidya. Thank you very much for sharing this beautiful journey of yours, giving hope and building hope in so many people's life who would be going through
Yeah.
anxiety and depression because they are not able to do well in their life. Hi, Munir. Great to have you here.
Yeah.
So, Vidya, with this, we would end this session today. All the best for your future. And friends, to all of you
Thank
who
you.
are here with us, it is so damn important to understand that life is this. Life will keep presenting challenges, and those challenges you can only fight with someone's help when you're not able to life worthwhile. That is how life changes. And this is what is transformation all about. Small internal changes which brings about such huge external changes in life. Can you imagine this small little help that she got has helped her gain her confidence, build her self-esteem, earn lot of money, become financially independent, change her relationship with her husband, make the family environment so beautiful, make your parents proud. Don't you think life is so worthwhile when you're achieving your dreams, you're absolutely inspired, you get up with joy and excitement, you sleep exhausted, feeling great that you've achieved something out of your life. Isn't that kind of life that all of us dream? That is what we have been doing here, transforming people's life and making them happy, leading a fulfilled life. Thank you, Meena. Thank you, Kshitija. Thank you, Gurbaksh, Dipti, Vishwas, Ritu, all of you, Janvi, for really encouraging us that this story has made a change in your life. Please go all out and share these stories, because you never know who's out there who's needing this bit of encouragement and listening to the story will believe in changing their life and will start a journey of hope. And that is how this word of transformation really grows bigger and wider. So thank you very much, friends, for coming here again and again on every Tuesday and encouraging us. Please share this story, because believe me, 2020 has increased this illness to a very high extent. Let people try and understand that to fight mental illness, to fight depression, to fight anxiety, to fight fear, you don't need medication. You don't have to be on sleeping pills. You don't have to compromise on your life. You can fulfill your dreams by a small little help. So go out and reach out to people who can guide you and lead a great and amazing life. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, everyone, for being here. See you next week, Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday at 9 p.m. on ND Life Coaching page. Thank you very much, friends. Bye bye.